Hello everyone, and welcome back to the seminar here at Assembly. The final talk for this Thursday night will be on hacking Demoscene visuals with Unity and without coding. Please welcome Jugi Kaartinen.
Yes, hi guys. Let's see, no coding. I'm a visual artist and also make music and not a developer, so I think this is for maybe artists or non-coders who would like to do some nice stuff with Unity, but are a bit afraid of it. So I've been doing this for a long time. My first demo party was 1988, so I've been doing this for a long, long time, but about 7 years ago, I started using Unity, just dabbling a little bit about it, and now I'm actually using it professionally for the last 2 years, so sort of changed my career a bit, also using Unity. So, but I thought what I should do, I'm not going to do a slideshow, but this is the only slide with text, so we're just looking at some elements of Unity that are kind of powerful, that you can do lots of fun stuff and without coding at all. So the particle systems, post-processing, and then there's wonderful resources by Keizero Takahashi, who is sort of a tech art lead in Unity Japan. So he has a lot of great pieces of code, and there's new features in 2007. So we're going to do it live, so let's see how it goes. You should never do this, never ever. I've already did this. I tried to do this in 30 minutes or so, and let me show you first what I'm going to build here. So let me play here. So this is a thing I'm going to create from the scratch, so let's see.
I was always a very polite skeptic. I would never
so Demoscene loves cubes, so I'm going to make a minimum primitives, but show a little bit. So you could even these boring cubes, you might be able to look like it's just loops here, but I'm going to do this from scratch, so let's see how it goes. So I'm timing it. It should take like maybe 30 minutes or something. Let's go. So I'm spotting here brand new. It's a beta version, like this Monday released, so let's start. Let's see. Of course, beta is going to crash when I'm on stage, but let's see what happens. But let's see, give it a name. Okay, I don't know how many of you probably are familiar with Unity or are active Unity users. A couple of people here. Because they are forced, because they get paid, but well, let's see. So this is a brand new beta version, as I mentioned. It's opening some resources here, and let's see. Let's see what we can do. Okay, if you don't know, there's. Let me switch into the really old school layout for this one, so we can see all the stuff. So you have the game view and the scene view. So basically, the hierarchy is here. We only have now main camera and light. So there was cube. Let's make cube first. You don't believe I can do this in a... Okay, then what we need, a plane where it rests. Okay, let's do a plane. 3D objects and plane. Here we go. Let's put all these things... and let's raise the plane a little bit. Here we go. Okay, now we already have a cube, so okay, we are starting to have a world already, so we have a plane and a cube, so maybe we should make quickly some materials for those so we don't forget those. So let's make a material folder. So let's make a couple of materials, create material ground. Let's put it there. Let's change the color bit so we know it works. Okay, we go. Then let's do another one, the box. Okay. And let's like drag it over there. So here we go. Okay, if you look at the game view, it already starts to doing something, but let's see the way I style these things that usually you would start, let's make some animation and stuff like that, but usually the animation and movement is generated. Now that I'm not a coder, I might be able to do something rotate cube, but there are much better approaches to that. We can ask, maybe we have some Japanese friends who can do that for us really professionally. So let's head over to Keijiro's GitHub page. It's an excellent resource, free resource for all kinds of things. And there's one particular, it's a small things, but it's called Clack. Here we go. It's a creative coding library for Unity. So there's all these little things that you might like. There's even MIDI controls and stuff like that. So this is how I usually do. Okay, let's download it. It's not a big one. I have several here already. So, okay, here we have the project here. But I'm just going to copy everything from that project's asset folder. Bing! If you don't know where this project is, it's just I can show it in Explorer. So it's just a file format here. So I copy everything from Keijiro's Clack here. Ding. And now Unity is going to import this inside. So what I want to do, I want to make that cube move in a more decent way than just rotating. So there's a bunch of really nice small things here. So for example, motion, there are a couple of scripts, Brownian motion and constant motion. So that Brownian motion is really nice looking. And I add to the box here. It's Brownian motion. Here we go. If I just hit play now. Okay, we already start a little bit of fun movement there. So, oh, that's a bit too much. But maybe we should add some rotation to it. It's just not just rotating, but it's the Brownian motion makes it a bit more lively. So what I do is here is, because it's in the play mode, I will copy the properties here and stop it and paste it back in. Okay, now next what we do, let's make the camera move some minimal way. So I'm going to make a simple sort of camera rig here. So I'm making an empty game object and let's call it center, for example. So it's 0 really center, but this main camera that I have here is far away. If I put it in the children of the center, now that I start rotating this one, it rotates all over around this box. So, but again, let's put there's a constant motion. Constant motion. This is also from the Keijiro's package. So. And we want to rotate the y-axis. So y-axis, and it's 30. Let's see how it looks now. Okay, now it's you can barely see that it's rotating maybe a little bit on the ground. So next thing I think, okay, why don't I see the rotation? There's no texture in the plane, so let's just add something there in the plane. So we can see something happening. Just let's take some random bitmap here. Okay, here we go. Something from the Keijiro's pack, and maybe it's a bit more tighter. Now when I do play, it starts to look something. You can see the texture moving. So let's see. What next? Let's go to the fun stuff already. So okay, this is really, really basic stuff. So to make it more pleasurable for your eye, I maybe add straight up here. Let's see if it's already here. Okay, there are nice purchases that Unity has made, actually. Really nice things. So there's a post-process stack that you can download free from the assets. Sorry, it's this one. So let's import that one. So this is sort of in this one big chunk of all the post-processing needs that you might have. All the basic stuff is here, and I'll soon show you why it's really nice, because you can actually adjust these parameters on runtime. So how we do it, we're gonna attach this thing to the main camera, because that's where we're gonna render the post-process effects. So let's see, it's called, okay, but it needs the file where the descriptions are. So I'll create here, here we go, post-process profile. Okay, let's just leave it like that. It's a big, huge thing. Let's see, I'll attach it here. Now, let's see what we can do. Okay, and I have some basic scene running, and let's start to add things. So, basic thing everybody does, you have to do it. It's a color grading. This is not going to fix all the things for you. All your scene has to look good already, but let's see. What I'm thinking here is that let's bring down some saturation. So if you're going all black and white, it's going to look cool, but maybe not. And this is a whole area of expertise of color grading. Let's see other things. The idea here is that everything is, you add a little bit of everything, and it's going to have an effect. So vignette is that your edges go a little bit black. Maybe it's too strong, just a little bit. So the horizon line is maybe a bit broken down. And then let's see what else we have. Of course, everybody loves the bloom. Okay, we have start to see some shine already there. So well, let's leave it at that now. So, and the one thing about the sort of you don't usually think about is all the camera parameters, the fields of view. If you want to do, like, for example, showing some subject that are human-sized, like 60, maybe it's too big, maybe 30, 39 for 35 millimeters. So, and if these are all style issues, and if you want to get that cinematic look, there's a couple of things: this vignetting and color grading, and especially if you change the aspect ratio of the viewport, it can make a lot. Let me put this first into the. Here's your 16:9, but if you want to do the actual movie ratio, it's something like. Let's see if I can remember. Okay, now we have a bit of a CinemaScope feel to it already. So we have some color grading. Actually, if we go to which is also important, is to, especially if you have a really low intensity gradients, you should add some grain to it. Okay, just so you don't see it, but it affects a little bit. So let's think what's next. So if you think about the environment here, is that the one thing that you can see it fades to the white, so you can kind of have a sense of depth, and you have a sense of depth in the plane. But the one way to create sort of a sense of depth is to have small particles running around. That's another thing Demoscene loves. So let's make some particles here. So okay. But they are really, really boring at the moment, so let's see what's actually happening here. So it's shooting from some tube, so let's make it... the particle system is kind of a really, really powerful. All these are different components of it, so you can do a lot with it. So let's do some basic... Okay, they're running around, so I'll stop them here. Make it a little bit bigger. Maybe 5 meters high, maybe just a little bit. Okay, here, but they're really big and ugly, so what can we do? Start size. Let's make it a smaller. some particles floating in the air. There's many of them. Let's make some more. Okay, let's play already. But even though they don't move anywhere, but the camera is moving, so you already get this movement, which makes it more sort of so you have an atmosphere going on. So let's tweak it on the fly. So start size, you can change them so that they're not all the same size. So they are random between some constants. So here we go. Really small, but changing between those. And then you see them suddenly appearing and going away. So that might not be nice also. So maybe if we change the color over lifetime here. So this is the color when it begins, and this is the color when it dies. So I changed the alpha channel when it comes alive, and when it dies, it fades away. Now it doesn't clip away. It smoothly runs around. So let's put some more there. Okay, again, I can, when it's on the runtime, I'll just copy this component so I can paste in the next one. So another thing is that the particles don't need to be just billboards and bitmaps. So I'll make a copy of this, and let's see, let's change the renderer from billboard to mesh, for example. So, and I'll change the material to, for example, here we go. I'll just make it a little bit darker. Okay, now we have lots of small cubes running around. Let's see what that looks like. Addition to the ones that we have. Kind of looks weird, but let's see if we can do something about it. Let's change the size a bit more. Okay, and maybe we can make them rotate a bit when they fly around. So it's a rotation over lifetime. Okay, you can't tell they are boxes anymore because they are moving so much, and you can change the start rotation. So, or maybe this is a good one. Let's leave it like that. Let's see. Okay, let's leave it like that for the time being. Okay, now we have some sort of an environment going on here now. So let's play up a little bit with the maybe camera. We get any feels for this? No, maybe something like that. Okay, let's do a little bit more, one more particle thingy here. So you don't necessarily just have to have those primitives to make the particles out of it. So let me show you. Let me show you like another particle system going on. Create. Wait a second. Here we go. Effects particle system. So let's call this particles from box. So once again, it defaults to the cone shape where the particles are emitting. But actually, I can actually change it to a mesh or mesh renderer. So the source of the particles would be this box here. If I just put the box here, so now it's shooting out the particles from the different places from the boxes. So this is just the edges, but if I change it to triangle, all the surfaces from all the 6 surfaces. But let's change those particles to actual meshes, for example. So let's do the same that we did before. So, and change the... Okay, now it's shooting these boxes, but it's shooting too far away. If we put the start size 0 and maybe make the start size a little bit smaller. Okay, let's see. And now I can change the orientation so it orients to the normal, so align to direction. So now it looks cube shape. Now it's a bit more interesting than one cube. So if we now add a little bit speed there. Okay, and many times when you have one parameters, it's much more useful. It looks better if you change it to random between some constants. So now it's between 1 or 0, so there's a bit more lively stuff going on. Maybe a bit too fast, but like this. Problem here is that you have so many parameters used, you can spend endless time like tweaking these things, but okay, what else? It looks kind of silly when it goes down to the ground, so we can actually stop those things going into the ground. So there's a collision here, and we can just use that plane as a collision. So I'll grab the plane here, and let's put it there. Now we can already see this bounce is how much they bounce. If I put it on 0, so they if they reach the ground, they will stay at rest. So if I put this a little bit lower, you can see what it means. Okay, I can move it now, but and this is I'm copying again all the parameters that I just changed, so it then can go away. So let's see what else. There's a really nice addition. There's so many parameters here, but let's do trails here. So now it's drawing trails behind this. I'm just making it a little bit. Now that especially when they are touching the ground, now you can see already that they are stopping there and maybe changing. If I change here, the lines are now in the local space, so they're straight up. But if I change it to the world space, they start to curve around. So they're following these things. So let me put there's no material yet, but let's see if I can have something here. Here we go. Yes, I think this is better looking when the lines were straight. Okay. Okay, we have some abstract cubes going on, but let's move on because let's leave the scene as it is now. Okay, the next thing is, okay, now we have some cameras moving and something happening, but you can actually do the whole full-blown cinematics because the new Unity 2007 has a timeline editor built in. Before you could actually buy some from asset store, some things that you could do, but now you don't have to buy anything. It's here, so let's see that one. So okay, I'm gonna move these things a little bit here. Oh, hey, one thing I forgot. Let's save. Yes. So we have 15 minutes left, so we can make a demo here. So I have 35 minutes for this thing, so yeah, let's put it all the way down here. So I'm actually going to make a empty game object here, which I call timeline. It's just I'm going to put everything in the same timeline, so I'm doing it like this. So I have this timeline selected. Now I'm going to create the same way as the post-process effect is a file, separate file here, which is the timeline. Okay, here we go, and I'll put that so it doesn't go away. Now what happened here is that there's this component playable director, which automatically starts to play this. We just press play or compile it, it starts to play. So, but you could add several things here, activate things, move things around. But I'm going to go straight to the even better thing that's new now. Is there's let's see, there's a wonderful, yet another wonderful purchase by Unity. So let's see, we get this. Here we go. Where's my search box? Here we go. It's called Cinemachine. It's now free, of course, because Unity bought it. Here we go. Cinemachine is a really, really advanced camera system. So, which takes anything that you have in the Unity basic camera, it duplicates that and makes a lot of different things. So, and it's also integrated to the timeline. That's what I'm going to import this one also, so I can start using it straight away in the timeline editor also. 12 minutes, so we have plenty of time. Okay, here we go. So, okay, this is our main camera that's moving about here. And if I add there to the Cinemachine brain, I guess it's something called Cinemachine brain. There's a new little thing appeared here. So now it's under control of the Cinemachine. And also, I can also add here is the Cinemachine timeline track. So this is the track for those for having those virtual cameras on this one. So let's see how this works. So if I make a shot clip here, and I have to create the Cinemachine camera here. Okay, here we go. It appeared here, and this camera has loads of things. Then, so okay, let me show you what it means. Okay, but this is actually the camera now. It's this one, and I can control it over here. So let's move it around a bit. So if I click this one, okay, now let's go up a bit, and this. Here we go. Okay, the thing that I can do now is that you can set where this camera is looking at. Let's look at the cube. So look at cube. Now if I move this camera around, it follows it, but I can do all kinds of compositional things here. The yellow dot means that it's targeting this, but if I want to do some fancy things here and put it in the right place and have a nice shot, so I can do it actually live here. So now it's moving by the Brownian motion and it starts to follow. Let's do a couple of more of these so we can have actually cuts here. So I have another one here, and I create. Here we go. Now that let's change the game view here. Here we go. I hope we are not having a bug here, but this is another cam. Let's see what happens when I play. Okay, now we already have 2 cuts here, but they're kind of silly cuts, but I haven't cut in a single thing, and we have a sort of a cinematics going on, and we're going to actually mix and match these. So now it's going to smoothly change from the one camera to another one, if you want to. But it kind of looks silly. Let me make a couple of more cuts here. Well, we have 9 minutes left, so we still have to make some music-based movement and cuts, but okay, maybe we'll leave it like this. So here we go. Oh, actually, what we can do, because we have this nice camera rig here, we can just move these things inside the rig, so we have the basic movement from that rotation, so they are not so static. So now they are under the same, they are children of this rotating thing, so now we have 2 cuts. Let's leave it here. So, and what else? Let me see if I get some music in here. So, Bad Acid. That sounds good. Okay, here, this is actually our project, so I'm just going to drop it in there. Okay, here we go. Well, it's importing here. Where is it? Assets. Bad Acid. Let's drop it here. So we have a soundtrack.
I was always a very polite skeptic. I would never tell someone. If they told me they saw something, I would.
So as a sort of a Demoscene theme, all the things should always like bounce by the music. So let's see if we can do that without coding. So I think we're going to ask help for our Japanese friend again. There's wonderful things here. So let's see. Takahashi has a wonderful, it's a bit older thing that he made, but it's called Reaction. This one. It's an actual sort of an. It can actually take live music inside and just send the messages all over to different objects that you have. And let's get this one. Okay, there's actually a ready-made Unity package here, so I just double-click this one, and it's going to import it to them. Okay. So the reaction is actually, I'm going to create an empty game object and call it a reaction, and then add to the main component there, which is called, reactor. Oops, sorry, this is the wrong one. It's called with K. So this is basically, you can have an audio input into this, but there's a wonderful addition here is that you can add some inject beats to it. Now let me just play it before hooking it to anything. So actually this component is now sending this kind of signal to it. Oops, let me put it in the loop. So, but we could take it from the music, but it's usually better than when you have you make the pulse yourself. And I know that this the song is actually, where did I put it? Here we go. I had it. It's 128 beats per minute, so I'm just gonna do that one. Okay. Okay, now this is creating the beat. We can actually change it so it's big and high, have one big and small. But how are we gonna put it into something meaningful? So let's take that cube that we have here. We can add a modifier. They are called gear something. There's plenty of those generic ones, and I just put this transform gear. So it's gonna autobind and take that pulse from that reactor. And let's put it, for example, in the scale. So I'm going to scale the cube according to that beat. So it's scaled 1, so maybe 1.3. And let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. But you can imagine you can put anything to anywhere. So this kind of hope you gives you an idea that you can do a lot with these nice little tools. And of course, this is completely, you can do a whole VJ set with these, with the live input music. And I think there's a really wonderful stuff there. So let's see, let's fix that one camera, I think, which is too far. This one. Can we make it a bit higher, maybe? Okay, here we go.
I was always a very polite skeptic.
I'll just put the timeline to a loop, so... Sorry, this one. Here we go. Let's maximize and play.
I was always a very polite.
Okay, we have 3 minutes left. Maybe we can do just this. So let's do. Let me create a prefab so I can use that a lot. So I'm just gonna drag and drop let's put this under there, and I just drag this to this folder that I created prefab. So now it turned blue, so it's gonna use this same one everywhere. So let's just do like this. Oops. Maybe let's do this. and make another copy, put next to it. So I hope my 2015 MacBook can handle this. But okay, starting to look like. My point maybe here is that actually this is all the basic stuff is here, timelines and stuff like that. Even if you are doing Demoscene demo, you don't necessarily want to do all that work. So on top of this, you can start writing your whatever shaders that you want to do and use this platform. So, and another thing is that without coding, you could make, for example, being an artist, make a cinematic demo out of the real assets that could be used in your game. Those kind of things. So I think there's okay, now I'm going to do one piece of coding here because this is a demo, but I'm not going to code it, but I'm going to, let's see, where is it? Here we go. Let me show you. I did actually code this myself, and it's made with JavaScript. So I'm going to hide the pointer, and with the ESC, it quits the thing. So let's add this one to the project, and then we can compile it. Copy. Where's our project? Here we go. I'll just put it here. Okay. Let's see if everything works. Compile. Oops. Okay, we have 50 seconds left. Let's see how quickly this builds. So I'm going to just add this demo project here. So, well, the platform, I'm running Windows here, so let's just build it. Let's put it in the desktop, for example. So, okay, here we go. Let's hope it works. This is usually where it doesn't work, but it's going to take a little bit of time, but we have 10 seconds left. Let's see. So I hope this is a bit scary because it gets pretty messy soon because these component-based things, a lot of small things you drag to some other small things. So it's starting to feel like coding without understanding what happens there. But I hope you get a little bit more sort of encouraged to try it out. Maybe, I don't know if I went too fast, but let's see. Thumbs up. I can show you the old version, but if it crashes here. So we are now officially 1 minute over these 35-minute demo time. But yeah, there's the moon is in a run. Let's see. I can show you the old one. But there's so much stuff here is to tweak and do about. But I hope you got some idea that what it's like essential components that you could use. And there's of course there's all these things are sort of cultural references if you're doing that aspect ratio and having those certain kind of effects. You want to look like a movie, but you don't necessarily have to do that. You could be completely whatever you want to be, looking completely different and weird. And of course, if you want to sort of poke the easy part, then you go by the sort of movie aesthetics. Of course. Oh no. Let me see. I actually did a. Oh. I think we are doing it now. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the one that I built here. No, this is the wrong one. No, this one. No, anyway, I could have spent like hour more on each of those components, but so what the time is it like? Maybe we can move into the question. Let's see if my code actually worked that I inserted there. I press S. It doesn't work. Yeah, sorry. Why didn't it work? I don't know. No, anyway, that's it. So,
Questions?
So previously, all famous demo groups had their own editors, like Fabrausch and some others. Is there anything in those editors that you're missing that you would want to see in Unity?
well, not really. If there's it depends who's working. There might be some really sort of cutting edge stuff that's just out, because usually the thing is that if NVIDIA has some new shit, then the coders who are really in the front row will start using that kind of methods and things that you have, and maybe those kind of things that you are missing. But you do actually do it here. So if you were, because there it's not so much sort of it's the 3D tech platform dependent more than the software side. So it's the hardware that enables them. So you can do basically the same things with every engine that you have if you have coding skills. So sort of just a framework.
So, are we gonna see Jugi's demo powered with Unity in the demo compo?
Yeah, if I go home right away. So
Go home right away.
Okay, if there's no more questions, thank you, Jugi.